back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
John Junior has taken over as head of the Gambino crime family since his father, the so-called Dapper Don, was sent to jail for life.
Here in New York last night, there was a blow, a serious one, to one of the largest organized crime families in the United States, the notorious Gambino family. The reputed head of the family, once run by his father, John Gotti Junior, has agreed to plead guilty to federal racketeering and bribery charges and go to jail for 7 years.
Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to take a second to remind you, please hit that subscribe button, and if you like what we're doing and want to support the channel, you can do that via Cash App at American Made Channel. Now, let's jump into the video.
From my viewpoint, being around my father, it was intoxicating. When he walked into a room, he owned everything that was in that room. I just would look at him in awe. I was starstruck every time I saw him. Even in the house, in his bathrobe, I was starstruck by the guy. The way he comported himself, he was always erect. He was always proper. He always had his hair coiffed right. He looked right. He said the right things. He always comported himself like I believe the man should comport themselves. He was a tough guy. A tough guy's tough guy. And he had his ethics I liked. I liked the things that he stood for. He would say, John, you don't do this. We don't do drugs. You don't do that. If I would get angry and curse in front of my mother, hey, pal, something wrong with you? No, nothing wrong with me. Won't happen again. He'd shoot me a look. He did everything right. Now, don't get me wrong. When he was hanging around the boys, he had a volcanic temper, and I'm sure, you could hear him on tape, some choice words. That was the other John. But the John that I seen in the house was really, to me, he was perfect. He was beautiful. My father, looking at me, I guess, he felt that I wanted this really more than he wanted it for me. I wanted to be in that world. And I guess he had said that, look, this is what he wants. I believe in this life wholeheartedly. I think it's no different than H.W. Bush bringing his son into politics. He believed he was a Republican card-carrying member. He believed in the political world. He believed that somehow he could make a change in politics. Well, my dad believed he was a card-carrying hoodlum. He believed in the streets. He believed in the policy of the streets. He thought that this is the way it should be. We're right, they're wrong. So now, that being said, why not?
John Gotti Jr. has agreed to plead guilty to federal racketeering and bribery charges.
I had sent him a message. I'm looking for some closure, Dad. I want to take my time, forfeit some monies, and go to jail. And I want to be there for my kids. That's closure. He's having a hard time because it's like being a quitter. As I had written in the book, and I believe this, as much as he loved us, I think we were second to that life. He loved us differently, but his whole life was about the streets. His whole life was about that chase, the streets. And I believe, it was so in him that there's no way he was going to change. In actuality, you could do anything you want to do, okay? Now, you make a decision in your life and you could say, it's no longer for me and I want to move on with my life. That's my prerogative, okay? My prerogative to say, okay, I'm done, I'm moving on. Their prerogative is to A, accept it, or B, act on it. Now, at the time in 2006 of my trial, when all this noise was being made about that 2 years, that I had walked away, and that now it's being profiled more and more at the trial, there was a death threat. There was a death threat that there was a conspiracy to kill me as a result of my leaving the life, because you can't leave the life. But in my case, in actuality, I could have left the life because my father's power was absolute. In fact, one time in the Post in 1993, there was a big picture of me on the cover and a bullseye on me, that I was about to be killed. I guess through an informant, they leaked out that this conspiracy to kill me. And my mother, she would never go see my dad and marry him without me. Never. I come home, I raced to the house actually to get her, hope she didn't read the Post. And she's gone already. I asked my brother, I said, Pete, where's Mommy? He says, I don't know, I didn't see her. Didn't see her. Oh, my sisters, where is she? Where's your mother? Where's your mother? Where's your mother? I find out she's in Marion, Illinois. She goes right to Kennedy Airport, she jumps on a plane. How could you do this to my son? I buried his son already. My son Frankie died in my arms in the street. How could you do this to me? How could you do this to me?